Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Holy Shiftballs podcast. I am Sharon here with my fabulous co-host, Bethany. Good morning, Bethany.
Hello, girl. How are you?
I am absolutely fabulous. How are you?
I am doing amazing.
And today on the show, we're asking a question that every single one of us should probably think about.
Yeah, girl. The question is what if you're already creating your future? Maybe it's just not the one that you're creating, maybe not the one that you actually really truly desire.
Exactly. And that is a very profoundly deep question.
Right, girl? Because whether we realize it or not, every thought, every belief, every decision, every emotional reaction, girl, it's creating something.
Exactly. They're all creating something. So the real question isn't, are you creating? The question is, what are you creating?
That's exactly right. And today's guest girl has spent decades helping people consciously participate in creating the life they truly actually desire.
Exactly. Jackie Lapin is our guest today, and she's the founder of the Conscious Companies and Conscious Media Relations. Jackie has helped launch multi-million-dollar companies. She's worked with brands
Wow.
like Disney, Toyota, Showtime, Mazda, the World Poker Tour. But today, she's with us. She's here with us. And she's going to discuss how she's focused on helping people understand something even bigger,
Yeah.
how to consciously create their lives. Jackie, welcome to the show.
I'm delighted to be here. I really appreciate the opportunity to come and really put some thoughts into people's minds that are really results driven, not just live your fate, wait for things to happen to you, or create things that you really didn't intend to create.
Yeah.
By the way that you focus your attention. So
Exactly.
I'm thrilled to
Yeah.
be here.
So, Jackie, when people hear the words conscious creation, they think, meditation or manifestation, are they the same thing? Or, explain conscious creations for us.
So essentially, as you guys alluded to, everything that we are, everything we do, every thought, every emotion has a frequency to it. And that frequency will attract like frequencies. It's very simple, which is why they tell you that you want to be emoting a particular frequency in order to attract in the same frequency of experience. So you essentially need to monitor your thoughts, monitor your emotions. So if you're sitting there worried, if you're saying terrible things in your mind about yourself, if you're shamed or in grief or anger or any of those other kinds of emotions, that's what's going to be brought into your life that matches that frequency. And you don't want to be a victim, because you can make yourself a victim that way. You empower yourself by having higher frequency thoughts, higher frequency emotions, higher frequency intentions. And when you do those kinds of things, when you're in a state of happiness, gratitude, appreciation, optimism, all of those kinds of things, you're going to the results are going to be much more to your liking and to your desire. Now, obviously, you can take that and you can add a vision to it, and you guys knows about vision boards and all those other things. But the key part that people need to know about this, and you've heard this many times now, and that is that when you are intending to do something, it's not just thinking it is the framework of the emotions. It's the emotions that really have the greatest power to transform what you're going to be experiencing. So that is a very conscious intention to be living in that emotional framework that creates what you want. But you can't just envision it. You have to feel it. You have to exist it. You have to believe that it's coming, believe that it exists. And when you are asking the universe for it, you basically have to say, thank you for already creating. The universe doesn't understand that emotion isn't in real time.
Right.
It thinks it is. So if you thank the universe, be in that state of existence, that this is going to be coming to you and you have already experienced it, then you're setting the framework. But there are way more ways. That's the basic overwhelming picture. And there are way more ways to actually put you in that high frequency situation. I wrote two books. One is Practical Conscious Creation, Daily Techniques to Manifest Your Desires. That book has 70 different little ways that you
Wow.
yourself in that high frequency, and then 70 little tiny tips. So it's like 140 little bits of wisdom, all short, not big long reads, that is going to say, oh, I can do that. Oh, I can do that. Oh, I can do that. That just makes you ride that high frequency wave.
That's beautiful, Jackie, because most people we ask, a lot of people give value, but not that much value. And what was the name of that book again for our viewers?
Practical Conscious Creation, Daily Techniques to Manifest Your Desires. Now, my first book really covers that first material we were talking about, The Art of Conscious Creation, How You Can Transform the World. That book basically tells you why we impact the universe, 25 guiding universal principles that really explain why and how we can transform our emotions, our feelings, our thoughts, so that we can be in that state as in general, and then provides guided visualizations of a healed world.
Beautiful, beautiful. But what you're talking about, Jackie, to me sounds like it's tied to our beliefs system as well. So can someone consciously create a lifestyle that they don't believe they're worthy of?
Not until they clear it and they really begin to look at why they're feeling that way. You can override it to some degree,
Okay.
but you really need to find in yourself the self-love, the appreciation, the sense of being worthy. And that worthiness, there's lots of ways to practice. There's lots of ways to get to that point, but acknowledging first that you have the potential for change is the first and most important, because too many people think, oh, this is the way I'm going to be. This is it. My life is shit. Instead of saying, okay, I'm going to reach for something better. I know that I am, that whatever anybody else says, I have value.
Yes.
And when you begin to really start to act that way, and that's an important thing, act as if, even if you don't believe it yet, act as if you will begin to live that life in a higher frequency mode and start the transformation.
Yes, Jackie, you've worked with some pretty incredible, successful people. What separates the people who intentionally create extraordinary lives from those who stay stuck repeating the same patterns?
Well, victimhood is the biggest thing, and you choose. That is a role you choose. People say, oh, I don't have any control. You do. That is a role you choose. But you can find in yourself the strength by taking little step by little step by little step to emerge from a cocoon into a wide open world that gives you infinite possibilities. If you open your mind and your heart to the infinite possibilities, the universe. So let's talk a little bit about the way the universe works. Energy, because that's, I think, where we really need to be going.
Yeah.
So the universe works in this way. If you are willing and open and believe that the universe has your best interest in mind, when you take a step forward, the universe will open up the next step for you. It'll create the bridge. So you take your first action and the next action will appear. I say that I follow God's breadcrumbs. I have had multiple careers besides of this area, and you just talked about conscious media relations. I also have a website called The Historic Traveler, which marries historic travel with the books that make travel come to life, historic novels, mysteries, and history books. That is my passion business. That's what I love. I can feel the energy when I am doing that. When I light myself up, opportunities just arrive.
Yes.
If I am contracted, fearful, worried, I can feel other parts. I sold a business last year, 2 years ago, that was killing my soul. And I could feel how contracted I was and how unhappy and I was miserable. So I chose to do something else. And I didn't know what the next thing was going to be. I lived in faith. I just said, this is what I need to get rid of to feel whole and happy again. If you're in a job that doesn't make you happy, if you're in a relationship that doesn't make you happy, you either can fix it or you can leave it. And I always choose light as opposed to darkness.
Yes.
And if you look forward, you can tell by just how your gut feels. We talked about the emotions. Do you contract? Do you expand? If you expand, the universe will give you more, will give you the next step. So you want to do that. And I'm going to give you a couple samples. At one time in my years of doing public relations with Conscious Media Relations, its predecessor, which was one of the largest sports and cable television PR agencies in the world. We had a leading marathon as a client. And we launched that marathon. We made them what they were. But after 4 years, we'd had so much abuse that I sent the client fax in those days saying, thank you. We appreciate the opportunity. We're no longer your agency. We wish you the best of luck. Best thing I ever did, because my team, every time they picked up the phone, they were afraid of what they were going to hear on the line, some, abuse. And so finally, when I said goodbye to the client, my business, and I didn't know where the rest of the money was going to come from, the business doubled overnight because I opened the energy and the new stuff could come in.
Exactly. And so, like you said earlier, you're attracting what you're putting out. And when you guys were putting out that contracted nervous energy, things weren't coming to you. And that takes me to my next question for you. Now, as you mentioned back in the day, you were a sports reporter and one of the leading sports reporters in the US. You were in a man's world and you dominated it. This, for our viewers, is really practical advice that they can put into their lives. If if their vocation seems daunting or what they want to do seems really daunting, how did you break through in a man's world, especially in that day? It was a very male chauvinistic world. And not only did you break through, you dominated. You were amazing. You excelled at it. How did you manifest that?
So essentially, the first important thing was I believed in myself. And I believed that I knew what I was doing. I had become a very, very good sports writer during my period, which is why opportunities opened up. But it didn't mean that I waited for opportunities. For example, I was in college, I applied for the baseball writer scholarship. No woman had ever done it. No woman had ever won it. And no woman, they thought no woman would ever get. And of course, the man who decided on it, his decision-making process was so good. Oh, what the hell? Why not give it to a girl? That's what he said, because I so excelled at what they offered. So, and because of that, I got offered an opportunity to go to the Detroit Free Press at 21. At 22, I was at the Associated Press and the front pages of the LA Times. At 23, I was co-hosting Dodger Dugout on Channel 11, and I was at the Washington Post. Now, none of that would have happened if I, one, hadn't chosen to do something regardless of whatever else the world said that I could or should do, but more importantly, because I took action. I applied for the scholarship. I applied for the AP internship. I applied for the Washington Post internship. You know, you have to follow through with actions. That's the real key. And so, and when I launched the agency, oh my God, I faced a huge number of detractors who laughed when I came into the industry and said, oh yeah, she'll last about 15 minutes. Until, you know, Toyota Motorsports was my first clients. We became their motorsports agency for the next 15 years. And from there, we started attracting, and we did the National Hockey League 75th anniversary.
Wow.
We did Top Rank Boxing. We did Golf Channel. I mean, we did some, you know, you heard I launched the World Poker Tour. So quality work attracts people, but you also have to know that you stand in a place of confidence, knowing what you can deliver.
That's it.
If you have the ability to deliver something and you know you're good at it, do not let the world tell you you're not any good. Do not let the world tell you that you're not worthy.
Exactly.
You know, stand in your truth. Stand in your truth. I'm going to give you an incident. This happened actually with my mother. My mom, God bless her, was an incredibly lovely, loving, and wonderful woman, but she was also pretty needy. And if I didn't attend to her when she wanted me to attend to her, all of a sudden I was the bad daughter. And I heard it frequently. And I almost bought into it for a while. And finally, after a while of feeling that kind of, you know, coming on my head kind of stuff, I stopped and I said, you know what? I am a great daughter by 90% standards. Maybe not hers, but I know I'm a great daughter. So I went back to her and I said, Mom, you can think what you want, but I know I'm a terrific daughter, and you can just either believe what you want or you can treat me differently. And it ended because I stood in my truth, and I knew my truth regardless of what she was saying. So you can't pay attention to the outside influences that don't let you know what you know to be true.
Yes.
And so that's really important. And so, you know, I believe that I had a great, and another thing is I built a great team, and I built that team based on energy.
Yeah.
I knew in my heart when I met somebody, if they were the kind of people that I wanted in my community, in my world. And if they didn't fit, if the energy wasn't right, if they were whiners and complainers and not doers, they were gone. Yep. Because you can't have people around you that sink you.
Jackie,
people that support you.
For sure. Jackie, if one of our audience members is watching right now and they're saying to themselves, shit, my life isn't changing, it's not going anywhere, I'm still seeing the same thing. If they're what we call, you know, a pattern looping, what would be the first place you would tell them to go look?
Well, there's a couple of things. One, get yourself a coach, somebody that looks at you from the outside in. Two, the Centers for Spiritual Living and Unities are very good places to be exposed to other people who are living this philosophy. Yeah. It's a really great community of people that will uplift you rather than tear you down. So I would say that if you don't feel you can do it on your own, that's a great community to start with.
If someone watching today wanted to change one small thing about themselves, one small belief to get on a better path, which belief would have the biggest impact on the life they create?
God has your back. You know, if you have faith that the world is operating in your behalf, then those opportunities to improve your life will be there for you. You just have to look, you have to watch and say yes when the opportunities arise. I'm a big believer in yes. I say some no's. There's no question I say no's. But I stop and think, okay, is this going to open up my world potentially? Can I spare the time to just explore and see what's there? So if I get invited to a meeting, 90% of an opportunity, 90% of the time, I'm just going to say yes, because the universe probably has something there that's going to bring an opportunity to me. I'm changing chiropractors, and he had an open house the other day. I rearranged my schedule to go just because something told me that there was an opportunity there, and I found a woman who can do the body work that's going to help with a problem that I've been having. I just knew that if I stay open, something would arise.
Follow
So
your
when you stay in
intuition.
a state of optimism that something is out there for you, believe the universe is working on your behalf, and believe that God has you in his
Yes.
Absolutely.
I love it. Well, we've gotten to where we are going to play our favorite little game called Shit or Shift. And a shift is, we'll ask you some questions. And if it's a shift, totally expensive, yes, I'm having it. Woohoo, give me more. Or if it's total shit, no way, that's a program, get it out of here. So I'll start with the first question. All right, Jackie, the universe will take care of everything. I don't have to do anything. Shit or shift?
That shit, you got to do stuff, because the universe won't help you until you start moving forward on your own.
Yeah.
Okay, Jackie. Most people aren't creating their future, they're repeating their past. Shit or shift?
That is, that's true. That's true. If you focus on something in your past, it's usually something you regret, you want to change, something somebody did to you. All you're going to create is more of that.
Yes.
If you choose not to focus on that, put your focus, they say,
Where attention goes, energy flows.
Energy flows. Yeah.
exactly. And so if you put your attention on something else, something more positive, a solution rather than what happened in the past, that's it. The other thing is focus on the present, because in the present, that's the place where you have the ability for action. That's also the place where you are more aware of what's being, if you're in the past, you're going to live the past, and you're going to recreate the past in the future. If you're in the future, you're in worry, anxiety, etc. If you're in the present, you're finding the solutions that could prevent that negativity that could happen in the future. And if you're in the present, you can create new possibilities rather than just locking yourself into the ones you had before.
Exactly.
Yes. All right, Jackie, your attention is one of the most powerful creative tools you can possess. True. Shit or shift?
That is truth. That is the shift. If you focus on what it is that you're intending to have happen, by creating in this moment steps that will take you there, you'll get there. If you put yourself into the place of, I know that this is going to lead me to somewhere positive. And keep in mind, you don't always end up where you think or you want to go.
Yes.
The universe will take you where it is in your best interest to go, whether you know it or not. And so even if you have something, here's one of my favorite little sayings from Practical Conscious Creation. It is not a failure. It is not a disaster. It is not a mistake. It is a universal redirect. It's telling you that this is not where you need to be putting your attention. You need to be looking at the next thing or something else, or what is the the solution that this presents, rather than what actually happened. What door is opening when you get blocked.
Exactly. Jackie, people don't fail because they dream too small. They fail because they stop believing before their future catches up with their vision. Shit or shift?
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. one of the things is sometimes we don't dream big enough, but that dream isn't going to happen unless you believe it's possible.
Mm.
Yes.
And you need to put the energy into one, making it possible, two, believing it's possible, three, living it before it comes, being in the
Yes.
frequency to attract it. I was
Well,
reminded of that again yesterday.
well, Jackie, this is my last question. Okay, so people say, hell, I'll believe it when I see it. Would you call that a shift or a shit?
That shit.
And why is that, Jackie?
The power to create is in the belief.
Yes.
It's not in what actually happens. You can appreciate what happens, but you need to be there before it. I mean, you need to be envisioning. I mean, if I hadn't looked and said, I know that I can marry the things that bring my joy to me, history, travel, historic novels, and photography, I don't know what's going to come of this, but I have a belief that this is something that not only I like, but other people like. We're getting 35,000 views a month.
Yes.
Oh, that's
I
incredible.
knew that I was on the right track, but I put my faith in the fact that I love this and I think other people love this.
Yeah.
And so I took a step out and just created it. And, you know, sometimes you can create without a lot of money.
Mhm.
You can just start building something. And here's something important: build allies, colleagues, associates, people who believe and support you. Go to them. They will join you in and put their energy together in creating what you want to create. But you have to be kind. You have to be compassionate. You have to be willing to collaborate, not just give orders. Give orders is not a good energy. I learned that the hard way in the early part of my career. I would rather ask and encourage and bring people into my vision,
Mhm.
and they'll jump on board because they believe in you, because you believe in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And when you believe in them, they double down and believe in themselves, which creates more of what's possible for you and for them.
And I
It's
know I had a significant impact on a number of women who worked for me many years ago. We still meet quarterly because we love each other so much. I could see them grow because I believed in them even before they believed in themselves.
and that's key. That is key. So my last question for you, Jackie, is that the greatest obstacle to consciousness isn't, or to conscious creation isn't fear. It's unconscious habit. Shit or shift.
I would actually agree that both of those are true. Because fear is a function of the unconscious.
True. Yes.
And when your body is reacting, your unconscious is reacting to triggers from the past, the first thing it's going to throw up is fear. And that's what's going to block you. So, you know, and that's where faith comes in. If you just disregard that fear and do it anyway, and believe in that state of faith, you're going to start the transformation of your unconscious to a more conscious state.
Great answer.
Yes. Well, Jackie, man, what a wonderful, wonderful conversation. Jackie, if any of our audience would like to work with you, to find more information, to get onto your email list, to research or read your books, how can they get a hold of you? How can they?
Well, so I don't do coaching at this point. However, I would highly recommend that you go to Amazon. You can get my books, Practical Conscious Creation and The Art of Conscious Creation, as paperbacks, but you can also get my audiobook for the first one, The Art of Conscious Creation. So you can take advantage of that. And then I don't mind if people want to reach out and, you know, ask questions, etc. They can reach out to me at Jackie at JackieLapin.com. So you can find me there. But I believe that if you read these 2 books, they're going to put you on the right track. People call them life-changing.
Yes.
And it's going to give you a lot of tools to start the transformation if you're not already on the path. And if you are on the path, it's going to accelerate you. So I
Yes.
encourage you to go on over there, grab those, and really start building your practical conscious creation muscle.
Just from our conversation today, Jackie, I have no doubt that your books are packed with amazing information that is going to catapult people from where they are now and to where they want to be. They're on the road to creating the life of their dreams, for sure.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us today. This has been amazing.
Well,
Thank
you for having me.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Well, Sharon,
Jackie's a powerhouse, man.
yet again, what a fabulous
Wow.
conversation, girl.
Wow.
I love that.
And
What
just
a-
packed full of so much wisdom and so many practical tools that people can use to accelerate their growth and get from where they want to be, no matter what it is you're trying to achieve in life.
Yes.
Yeah, this is one for the books for sure.
For
Mhm.
sure. And just, to listen to her, and we had the pleasure of meeting her before, having a pre-interview, and her energy is just one of magic.
Yes.
And I know for me, speaking with her, I was like, finding myself getting closer to the computer, just soaking in, all
I
of the
actually noticed
wisdom, all
myself
of
doing that a couple of times during the
yeah,
interview
just
today, and I
everything
was
that
like,
she
okay,
what a powerhouse,
I know, I
to
just love her.
just
Her
love her.
energy's
Yep.
amazing. Her
All right,
energy is
girl.
amazing.
Well, girl, who do we have on the show for next week?
Next week, we have a gentleman by the name of Paul Staton. He's a holistic healing wizard and wellness educator whose passion in life is to help people know how to self-heal and create a joyful lifestyle of freedom, the life of their dreams. And he especially enjoys working with healers. So it'll be a pretty cool show, all about healing
wizard.
and self-healing. I know he self-proclaimed, say that 3 times real fast. He a self-proclaimed,
Proclaimed.
don't try and say it again.
Sharon, just don't
Holistic
even
healing
say it.
wizard. Yes.
Well, girl, once again, it has been such a pleasure sharing this Thursday
Always.
morning with you.
Always a joy. Love it.
And remember, Sharon, when
That's right.
life kicks you in the balls, be sure to tune in to your Holy Shiftball podcast,
Where we help you turn that shit into a shift.
See you next Thursday.
Bye-bye.